Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast. Welcome to season 3, episode 50 of the podcast, guys. Season 3, episode 50, guys. In one season, we had 50 episodes. Pretty wild. And also keep in mind, during the middle of the season as well, we had a whole separate season just talking about the World Cup. So pretty crazy how far we've come in this podcast. Thank you so much for the support. At 47 subscribers, guys. So let's see if we can hit 50 by the end of my school year, which is basically I think June 23rd. So about 2-3 weeks. Let's see if we can hit 50, guys. As I said, guys, it's not really about like I don't really mind like having like you know how these people have like 100,000 subscribers, 10,000. Like I don't really care. It's just the fact that I'm thankful for the people that watch me, and I love doing this because I think in one it makes me really good, really more passionate in giving my like expressing my ideas. It makes me more open to share my ideas, to share my thoughts, debates. I feel like I'm more better at debating. More like I feel more confident when I speak, like not just only to the podcast. It may seem that like, oh, when I speak to a podcast it's like one person, like, oh, like it's not the same like speaking to a camera that than speaking to a whole crowd. But trust me, guys, I feel like I like even when I speak to a whole crowd, when I have presentations at school, I feel much more confident now as well. So yeah, as I said, I really like doing this stuff. It feels good to um like to share my opinion, to give my thoughts on, of course, the best sport, the best thing, not the sport, the best thing. Like let's say my phone is not the best thing, bro. Football is the best thing in the world, which is of course football, um, or football, Brazil. Yeah, it's really good to talk about football. You guys get to hear my ideas on football. You guys get to hear real football news. I react to that football news. I give my thoughts and ideas, and then like you guys get to like share your ideas as well on football stuff as well, and I get to hear and listen to them as well. Guys, give me a moment. I'll be right back. Just give me a second. Yeah, but yeah, we are back, guys. But yeah, as I was explaining, really good. Thank you guys, uh, so much for the support. As I said, 50 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit it by in the next 2-3 weeks, in the next month, before July. Let's see if we can hit it. But yeah, guys. Today, season 3, episode 50. A bit of a shorter podcast, guys. I'm not really gonna talk about the league episodes, guys. I know lately I've been like in the past 2 weeks. I haven't really been uploading a lot, and man, I just have to tell you, it's it's coming to the end of the year of my grade 12 year. I'm gonna be going to post secondary, so pretty crazy there. Yeah, I mean life is coming a long way, and as I said, grade 12, the last year before university. There's a lot of work, of course, final exams, a lot of work, as I mentioned. So like yes, like let's say like I have little work, or let's say I have work, okay, like school work. I get my homework right. I do my homework. I have like 2 hours free time. I can't record a podcast during those 2 hours free time because I've had so much work mentally. I just can't handle it. I have to take a break, like go on my bed, take a break and stuff, have a sleep. So I feel like recently in the past 2 weeks and stuff, I have been sleeping a lot when I come home because I'm just so exhausted from all the work. But as I mentioned, we're almost done school. Before university, which will even be worse. But yeah, we're almost done school, so hopefully during the summertime, there's going to be less games, unfortunately, but there's still going to be some transfer news, which we will be talking about throughout the summer. Of course, I think we're going to have weekly transfer reactions, football reactions for sure. I'm thinking of trying to do like a new episode during the summer. I mentioned that last summer, I would do some football live streams like FIFA and stuff. Maybe IRL, we never know. But this year, I'm definitely going to be doing some more live streaming of FIFA 23, Possibly FIFA 24. I don't know how early FIFA 24 will be coming out, but possibly FIFA 23. We might be we will be streaming during the summertime when we don't have much football going on. There's gonna be football transfer and news reactions during the summer, of course. No games, of course, but definitely like transfer reactions and football news. That's gonna be happening on the market this summer. We're gonna do FIFA live streams, of course, by EA Sports. I don't know if any other games. I don't like to stream other games because this is a football stream. And then lastly, yeah, I'm trying to come up with a new episode. I might do those like shorts, like you know those YouTube shorts. Maybe like get a guest on every week, like a weekly guest, and do like 2-3 episodes of a shorts of doing like a football tic-tac-toe would be pretty sick. With a guest every week, like a new guest throughout the summer. Every week we have a new guest in the summer. Do a quick 5-minute football shorts. Do like a footy tic-tac-toe. A guess who? Maybe like a guess the team or something like that. Like a football wordle, like against an opponent and a new opponent every week. I'm thinking of doing something like that. I have some friends like that might want to come on and do like a short footy tic tac toe just to make some short content throughout the summertime when there's no football to talk about. So I'm thinking of doing something like that, like a footy tic tac toe, as I mentioned, 5-minute podcast of a mini game football to test the football knowledge. So those are some ideas I have in mind. But yeah, guys, that is about the podcast, guys. That is about the channel. Let's get to the actual football news. Yeah, as I said, today's going to be a bit of a shorter podcast. We're going to be talking about the Europa League final. We're going to be talking about some football news, as you can see up here. And then we might end it off with a footy tic-tac-toe, depending on how slow my computer is going to load it. But guys, let's get to it. The Sevilla versus Roma Passion Heritage final. I always say this, passion and heritage, because I am a passion and heritage merchant. And truly, this was a passion final. The way both teams played was one of my favorite ways. I'm telling you, when I play footy, when I play FIFA 23, man, I'm not one of those rats who play 5 at the back, constant pressure. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. FIFA 23 by EA. I'm one of those people who like to play like a 4-3-2-1. Like I know it's a meta formation in FIFA 23, or like I like to test out new formations. I'm currently testing out a new formation, a 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-3-1-2, because I'm a type of person who likes the pass and go play style. Not only in FIFA, even in real life, the tiki taka, the Barcelona way, the Real Madrid way, and especially in this game, the way that Sevilla and Roma played, able to pass, find each other on the pitch, find their teammates. Guys, one of the most brilliant players I saw today in this game, or 2 days ago in this game, was Paulo Dybala, man. He was extraordinary, going down on the wing, cutting inside, getting like the way he dribbles, like his agility and balance, like he's agile and dribbling, keeps the ball close to him. And then, like as I said, the way he was just doing some Ronaldo chops, cutting inside, and then passing into the box was just brilliant. It's not only for this Roma team, but even for that Sevilla team, guys. It was like just incredible the way they played the pass, like the possession, tiki taka pass and goal type gameplay, and I really enjoyed that. It's so much like more like you feel more like energized when you watch that gameplay because there's more stuff going on throughout the game. And of course, you can see that as well. 11 shots versus 19 shots, 4 shots on target versus 3. I mean, it was really good, and both teams played brilliant football. So yeah, let's talk about the first half, and then we'll talk about some key events like throughout the half. So yeah, in the first bit of the game, yeah, as I said, like Roma played really good. Dybala going down the wings and stuff. And yeah, Roma had a really good chance and cut inside, of course, yet again by Paulo Dybala. Down the wing, cuts inside, gets past the defender, and then it was meant to go to I think it was meant to go to Pellegrini, who was more in the top of the box over here. But then Spinazzola, luckily, came into the box. There's a one-time shot with his right foot into the middle of the net, and of course, Brick Bonu, BB, guys, Brick Bonu, Brick Wall Bonu. Sorry, my voice is just set. Yeah. But yeah, Brick Bonu, Brick Wall Bonu. And we saw it at the World Cup. No, like of course we knew what we were expecting because we saw how good Bonu was at the World Cup with Morocco in that team. And he's done it here again. Done it here again, mate. Bonu, Brick defender. Brick, he made some really good saves. And as I said, really good play from Roma, able to to pass the ball, find each other, making those runs in behind, like passing to let's suggest a play here. Spinazzola, I think there's one play he passed to Pellegrini. Spinazzola makes that run in behind Jesus Navas, behind Campos, behind Fernando, and then goes to Pellegrini. Fernando, amazing CDM. He was able to rock that Sevilla midfield in the defensive area, of course, for Sevilla. He was brilliant there. Rakitic, man, of course, the Barcelona, of course, a former Barcelona player, very underrated, of course, as we all know, former Barcelona player, and Croatia, very underrated. And man, I feel like this Sevilla team really is like a team that makes him more, like, shows his skill. Maybe not as good as he was at Barcelona, but or in past years, of course. But it definitely shows that, like, all his life, like, he's doing it at this age as well. How old is he now? Like, Rakitic. 35 years old. Yeah, 35 years old, and he's still able to be as good. Not maybe he's still this good. Just shows that, oh, when he was younger as well, he was even better. So I feel like he's very underrated. Of course, he had a really good shot. I think it was in the first half, near towards the end, like near the 40-50 stuff, where he blasts the ball and unfortunately hits the post. Rui Patricio, the Portuguese goalkeeper for Roma, unfortunately cannot. He didn't have to dive to reach it. So if it went just a bit more like into the bottom right corner, would have went in because Rui Patricio didn't get the reach. But unluckily, it hit the post. So yeah, very unlucky there for Ivan Rakitic. Yeah, as I mentioned, Jesus Navas, man, 37 years old. He's been at Sevilla all his life. Sevilla legend, of course. That's what you call a real legend, Sevilla legend. But man, Jesus Navas, as I said, brilliant. He's a bit older, a bit slower, but he's able he reminds me a bit of that Danny Carvajal type vibes, because he goes down the wing. He's like one of those players like Danny Carvajal who crosses it into the box. And of course, that's how Sevilla got their goal as well. Jesus Navas crossed it into the box. I don't know if it was En-Nesyri who hit it, or if it was one of the if it was an own goal by Mancini here. It looks like it was an own goal that went in. But like, it was a really good cross still. Like, even if Mancini wasn't there, like, it would have went to En-Nesyri and would have went in for sure. So yeah, great by Jesus Navas. Going back to that first half, yeah, as I said, Roma played well, and honestly, guys, the amount of yellow cards: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 yellow cards. Now, 7 of them were a bit questionable, but at the same time, like, let's talk about some of these yellow cards. Like, some of them were like, oh, he nutmegs him, and then he trips, but it wasn't like in the penalty box as well. It's not a penalty because he tripped. He dived over him, tried to go around, but since he didn't hit his leg, he decided, oh, let me dive instead. Another one where he gets past the defender gets back around him, hits the ball, just slightly hits the ball before the player, and it wasn't a penalty because he hit the ball first. So well played there. And I mean, like, well played by both VAR and the referee. Now, one of the most controversial stuff, especially for Roma fans and of course for Mr. Argue to the referees, Mourinho, was of course the penalty, the handball, the Sui handball, because he like kind of, it looked like he was doing the Sui formation, but the Ronaldo celebration, but yeah, this one is a bit arguable. Now, I was arguing with my friend because he said, oh, no matter if it hits your arm, it's a penalty. It is not, because like, when you have, what do you expect him to do? Do you expect him to have no arms? You can clearly tell in the replay mode, you can clearly tell that it was Fernando. Like, one is, of course, he saw the ball coming. He doesn't react that fast with the power that the ball goes at, first of all. Like, when he's like not that, he's pretty close to the opposing player as well with the ball. And secondly, you can clearly tell he moved his arms inwards. Like, see my arms here, my arms. He arms towards his body. He tried to move it towards his body. You can clearly tell in the replay the movement of his arms was going out in towards his body to make himself smaller to not hit the ball. Now, if he was doing an action where his arm was going was moving outwards, like moving like away from his body, you can definitely tell, oh, he's moving away from his body to try to touch the ball. So that is a intentional penalty, intentional handball, because you can clearly tell in the video they're trying to hit the ball, but you can tell in the replay like he was moving his arms into his body because he wanted to get away from the ball. Now, yet again, you can say, oh, if he's moving it like it's not all scenarios where, let's say he was moving his arm outwards, like to try to move his hand to block the ball. The not all scenarios that is also a penalty, because you have to tell in that scenario, you have to tell, is it a natural arm position or is it an unnatural arm position? By that it means, like, if you're slide tackling, of course you're gonna move your arms out of the way, your hand is gonna move up and stuff. But if you're like standing still and you move your arms wide, that's a penalty because you're trying to wide to block the ball. But if you're moving it inside, you're trying to move away from the ball, make yourself smaller to block, to not get the handball. And if Fernando tried doing that, it still hit his arms, and everyone was saying, my friend was saying, oh, that is a penalty, but clearly in the video you can see he's trying to move his arms inside. So I'm not going to give that a penalty. Jose Mourinho, a bit of a you could tell, you could say a bit of a referee merchant, but for sure you can, like, not just that one. I think I'm going to disagree with that penalty, but there was also some other moments where you can say, like, like it was a questionable whistle for sure, and yellow cards, of course, all over the whole game. But yeah, the Dybala goal, yet again a bit questionable as well, where it's one of the Sevilla players who has the ball. I think it was Rakitic or something like that, who had the ball, gets fouled by, not fouled, but like he gets blocked in the way by Pellegrini, I think it was. And then it was Matic who gets the ball, passes it into Dybala, who's on a through run, and gets it past Bonu. So that initial part where where Pellegrini kind of blocks Rakitic out of the way, pushes him out of the way, a bit questionable, because Pellegrini, yes, he was the one who fell, so maybe the ref thought, oh, Pellegrini fell, it's a foul from the Sevilla player, let me do a play on and see how this Roma attack goes. But at the same time, like, you can definitely tell, like, Pellegrini did not mean to fall over. He lost his balance while his initial purpose was to push Rakitic out of the way. So I think for that reason, like, he should have called a foul there, and Dybala's goal should have been ruled off. I'm still not gonna hate on Dybala because he had a brilliant game, but overall, like, that was a bit of a questionable one. And then, yeah, we mentioned the Sevilla goal in the second half as well. Of course, going to penalties, Bonu, of course, he saved 2 penalties. Actually, no, I think he saved 1, and then another one was hit the post by Roma, and then yeah, I didn't see the last one, but I think they probably missed or something. But yeah, but Bonu, man, both teams, Sevilla, the way they play, the pass and go, really loved this. Brilliant game by both teams. Unlucky for Roma, Sevilla have now made their way into the UCL, even with having such a bad season, guys. I remember saying one time on the podcast that, like, oh, they were being criticized for having all these old players like Acuna, like Papu Gomez, signing all these players, and at one point they were doing pretty bad as well. They were in the relegation spot at 18th or 19th place. Look at them now, 11th place, and since Sevilla also won the Europa League, or should I say the Sevilla League, because they have 7 Europa League titles, the most the competition. The next is third, I think, by Inter or Chelsea. Since they have 7, since they won this year's Europa League or the Sevilla League, they get automatic qualification to Champions League as well, while getting 11th place. I swear this happens every year. I mean, last year they got 4th place, but I think the year before, yeah, 4th place. Even over here, man, like 6th place, I think they were still in the Champions League. I swear, they're just Europa League farmers, man. They find their way into the Europa League, they win the Europa League, go back to the Champions League, they get knocked out of the Champions League group stage and then go back into the Europa League, go on to win it, and then that's how they get back. Like, man, I swear the Europa League merchants right there, Sevilla. But yeah, honestly, fair play to Sevilla. Yes, they had a pretty bad season in the La Liga, but man, what a run in the uh, in the Europa League against United. They were amazing in that pressure tactics against Atletico de Madrid, against Juventus. They were also really good. What a game that was as well. And then of course both teams were in the finals. Of course, brilliant. So yeah, that's all the games. As I said, a bit of a shorter podcast. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the football news. Let's start it off with Sergio Ramos because guys, Sergio Ramos has decided to leave Paris Saint-Germain as a free agent. He will not sign a new deal. Tomorrow I will say goodbye to another stage of my life, and it's a goodbye to Paris Saint Germain. So Ramos is now available on a free deal. I think he's still a great defender for his age. And I can see him. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Do I see him in the Saudi leagues? I don't know if I see him in the Saudi yet. I feel like I see him at. I mean, yeah, maybe he's gonna go to Saudi. Maybe Al Nassr with his of course, former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo. But I could see him still playing in Europe, man. Maybe going back to Spain. Maybe going back to his old club Sevilla. Now that they won the Europa League, why not go back to his childhood club Sevilla? I'm pretty sure he came from Sevilla, so why not? I could see that going for sure because I think he's still an amazing defender. He might not be as fast, but since he's mentally knows how to defend, he can get to a spot by moving into that position earlier before the attacker gets there. Um, he read the play well. That like because you can read the play well, you know how to adjust your movement with your speed to manage to catch up to fast players as well, even though you're slower. He's a leadership, of course. He has that leadership. He's still that leader in the back line. And then of course he's great on the ball in that pass and go play as well. So I think I could still see him in Europe, of course, as I said, going back to his old club Sevilla, or going to I think he either goes back to Sevilla, to his old club Sevilla, or going back to or go to the Saudi league with his old mate Cristiano Ronaldo. But yeah, after that post was made, Fabrizio made this post where Saudi leagues have already started to approach Sergio Ramos in the recent weeks, while he was still discussing his contract at PSG, and I guess now. Okay, so never mind. I thought it was saying while he still has a contract, while he still like I thought it was saying like Ramos has offers from Saudi league, but he's still discussing with PSG. But of course, he was still, so it's in the past before he decided to announce his departure from Paris Saint Germain. To be fair, as a PSG fan, we are losing probably one of our best defenders, top three, the past 3 seasons for sure. Top two, you could say as well. I think Marquinhos, yes, he's not the best, but I think he's still better than Ramos. Um, but at the same time, man, like as I mentioned, we have Kimpembe who's going to be coming back out of his injury. He's going to be covered, so I think Kimpembe is still great, and I think we need more of that Parisian spirit as well. So that's why I prefer Kimpembe. Great as well. Danilo proved that if one of our defenders like Kimpembe are injured, he's a good replacement in that back line. We have Mukiele, he can play on the right and of course centrally back line, and then of course Marquinhos, and then getting the leader Skriniar, who I think is like very similar to the playstyle that Ramos is in. So I think like it's not the worst loss for PSG. New round talks between Arsenal and Martin Odegaard. So yeah, our man Odegaard, man, like this season when I watch Arsenal play, he's involved in almost every play that they have in that midfield. He's able to win the ball. He reminds me of that type of Kevin De Bruyne, of course, and also like a mix of Camavinga because he's really passionate for this team. He wants to fight for the ball. He's good at moving the ball around. He's a leader, of course. Um, and yeah, I think he's just really good, as I said, physical, good on the ball, and then also his playmaking, man. That's why he's very similar to Camavinga, to KDB. He's a leader, very similar to KDB. His physicality and his height, of course, very similar to KDB. And then on the ball, the way he moves with the ball, to get into open spaces and then pass the ball, very reminds me like Camavinga. passionate player as well. So I think Odegaard at Arsenal, I mean, he's had a great season. Arsenal have had a lot of positives with him this season, of course, in almost every attack, every game as well. So I think it's good that he stays at the club. Real Madrid have concrete interest in Kai Havertz. He's one of the players in the list, really appreciated by Ancelotti. Understand Chelsea are open to discuss Havertz exit, but they want important fee, no way for loan and similar. So I think I think, man, like they can get. There was rumors that Benzema was of course gonna leave the club, um, but the Saudi. But then Benzema did like he did an interview saying like, oh, that is just like, do you really believe the internet these days? You have to believe the actual player. So we'll get to that soon. We have a bunch of interview questions from several footballing people. Um, but where was I? But yeah, yeah, there was reports that Benzema was going to go to Al Nassr, or something like that, or not, maybe not Al Nassr, but to the Saudi league for sure. And he actually said himself like he trying to reject. He was trying to say that these rumors, these information is false. But either way, I think that definitely, I think next year we're gonna see another Mbappe Sega, and this time, as a PSG fan, I know that Mbappe does not like our club anymore. He's tired of us doing really bad in the Champions League and having some embarrassing games. But I think next year we will see Mbappe Sega and finally comes to an end, and he will go to Real Madrid. But at the same time, I think like getting both Harry Kane and Mbappe is not a bad idea either, because man, Harry Kane, bro, is one of the most underrated players. Erling Haaland, 36 goals this season in the Premier League. No one is talking about Harry Kane getting 30 goals in the Premier League with Hotspurs, bro, with Tottenham Hotspurs, bro, with shit Spurs. I know I just said that, I have to, bro, but they're so bad, and he got 30 goals with them, bro. And it's pretty it's crazy, man. It's actually crazy. Like I feel like no one's talking about that, so I had to mention that. Uh, but I mean, Kai Havertz is also a really good player. I think he's a really good player. And he's one of those players who definitely remind me of a Timo Werner, a Rodrigo type player. And that's those players who play, who are inconsistent. Timo Werner, man, he was slept on both at Chelsea, man. He was slept on at Chelsea last season. He had a great season with Chelsea. That he was like the German R9 during that Madrid game, if you guys remember. But he was really good. He was really good. It's just that he was inconsistent with getting the ball in the net. It's not that he missed it. It wasn't like a Darwin Nunez type, but like he's just unlucky with it. And like same with Kai Havertz. I feel like you take a look at a player like a Rodrigo. Like he plays really good games, and then sometimes he has those pretty shitty games as well. Like he's not consistent. He's not like a magician. He's not like a Toma. If you know, you know. A Brazilian. He doesn't have that Brazilian acceptance, you could say, the Brazilian blood in him sometimes. So I think it's the same with Kai Havertz. He doesn't have that. He's not consistent a lot of the times. It could be a different story in Madrid, of course, but that's how I feel about Kai Havertz. Let's go ahead and see the news by the interviews by the players. So Xavi, yeah, it is of course. I think it's official that Lionel Messi is also leaving Paris Saint-Germain. So Xavi, Lionel Messi will decide his future next week. He has 100% my okay to join us. I think Xavi would love a Messi player who's able to create chances. I think that's what Barcelona really need. Imagine him feeding those balls into Lewandowski. Lewandowski would love that. And same with Messi, man. Messi's gonna be stat padding those assists next season. He knows we're ready to welcome him. Nothing has changed. We've had chances. We want Leo here. Let him decide. I'm ready to include him in our system. So yeah. Let's see what else here. So yeah, Xavi on Bernardo Silva. Yes, Bernardo was tempted by joining us last summer. It's normal. Players are always open to join Barcelona. Bernardo would be an excellent signing. Obviously, that would be fantastic. But he's Man City player. It's very difficult. So yeah, I think Bernardo Silva, I would love him at PSG. Him and Verratti in the midfield would be sick. But even at Barcelona, man, imagine how good he would be, how good he would fit in with Frenkie de Jong, Frank Kessié, and like or Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, and Bernardo Silva would be a great midfield. But even at PSG, man, I think we definitely need well. Um, we yeah. So over here, so it looks like we have an option clause like to open the clause to sign Yannick Ferreira Carrasco. This summer it was negotiated by Mateo, so we will see. It depends on next week. We like Carrasco, yes, but I can't say more. I think Carrasco is a great player as well. I don't know. Does he fit the system though? Like Gavi in that position. No, but I'm wondering like what would they play when Messi comes to the club? Like I feel like Rafinha. What foot is Rafinha? Isn't he left-footed? Rafinha. He's left-footed. He is left-footed. So like maybe playing him on that left side. I know he prefers might prefer to play on that right side to be one of those wingers who cut inside and do like a finesse curled shot. But I could see like Xavi moving him to the left side, playing Messi onto that right side, then Lewandowski up top, and then do that like Bernardo Silva, like do that three midfield setup, of course, like a 4-3-3. So I don't know if Carrasco really fits that formation. I know he's pretty good though. And yeah, as I mentioned here, Rafinha is not. I think he's a great player. As I mentioned, he's good at cutting inside, crossing the box, like cutting inside, doing some dribbles, cutting inside, passing to the box, and he's really good at that. He's staying at Barcelona, and he's gonna help us. He's a crucial player for me, really, uh, but really very important player. He makes the difference, sure, and I do believe that as well. Um, Yeah, Yannick Carrasco has the opportunity to join Barca, which is great opportunity for him. I want good players to stay, but if they leave, I thank him for everything. Barcelona have an option for 20 million, pretty deep. Um, looking so yeah, Simeone bids for Joao Felix. I mean at PSG, I'd love to take a Joao Felix. Um, we have to see if the proposal would be good financially for the club. That is crucial. Spanish clubs, same. If Atletico board tells you there's a bid from Barca, well, for the way Barca play, he would be an important player for sure. But I don't know if he fits that Barca team. Carrasco fits that Barca team more than Joao Felix. Um, Joao Felix is our player. If Chelsea don't want to sign him, not want to sign him, as apparently Pochettino decided, he will be back here, and he will be a part of our team. I can work with him. I have no problem at all with Joao. He knows that 100%. Going to the Lukaku, of course, back and forth, man. This guy in the streets, man. Back and forth through Inter and Chelsea, bro. No discussions took place in May for Romelu Lukaku between Chelsea and Inter, despite reports. It will happen after the UCL final. Understand Lukaku's priority remains to stay at Inter next season, up to the two clubs, but no decision before June. I remember last year, guys, when Lukaku was at Chelsea, he was saying every day, like, oh, I want to go back to Inter Milan. I love Inter Milan. Let me go back to Inter Milan, and he was dropped from the Chelsea team. He went back to Inter. I think there were some Inter fans who were saying, "Oh, this guy's a snake. Don't let him back at Inter. He left our club and to go back to Chelsea. And now he's saying at Chelsea he wants to come back. He's a snake." But to be fair, when he went back to Inter Milan this season, honestly, he's had a pretty good season with Inter. So for sure, I don't see why Inter will not continue to sign him yet again. Him and Lautaro Martinez, great that Inter attack. Uh, and then yeah, here's the thing about Benzema. I speak to Madrid fans. Speak what? Who's speaking is the internet. The reality is not the internet. So yeah, that's of course Benzema saying he's not gonna go to Saudi. Cristiano Ronaldo announces he's not leaving Al Nassr despite Newcastle and Barcelona and Bayern Munich links. I am happy here. I want to continue here. I will continue here. Life goes very well. The league is good. The big players are all welcome. If this happens, the league will improve. And even Ronaldo said himself that like the league could go to a top five. league as well. And I also kind of truly believe that it's definitely better than the shitty MLS we have here in the North America. I'd have to say. But honestly, man, the Saudi league, you have players like Anderson Talisca, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. There's definitely some other players I don't know because I don't watch the league a lot, but I feel like a lot of big players like Karim Benzema, like Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Sergio Busquets, um, Benzema I mentioned, Toni Kroos, Sergio Busquets, Sergio Ramos, maybe even Jordi Alba, who's also left the club from Barcelona. He's gonna be gone as well. Barcelona legend. But like they're all rumored. All these older players are all rumored to go to the Saudi league, and if that happens, like, is a lot of attention is gonna go there, and not just attention. Like, I think that's also gonna bring a lot of income into that league, and that not that they already have the oil as well, but it's gonna bring more attention, make the league a bit more. I guess you can say pop. Is that pop? What am I trying to say? Majesticness. Bring more, I guess, attention, you could say. Bring more attention, which would make it, I guess, maybe the players might be like trying to say, oh, let's practice more, where there's more eyes on us. So I think it's gonna pressure the players to become like more better as well. I think a lot of talents coming out from that club, or from that league, and which you could say is truly a top 5 league. But yeah, that is gonna be all the football news. Let me just go here, see if we can do some football games. Play. Let's see if we can use hoodie tic-tac-toe, guys. Around a go. European League as well. We don't want to be the only negative Premier League knowledge. We just have to wait for my slow computer to load, man. It's so slow. Yeah, there we go. So, Chelsea, Bayern, Atletico de Madrid. Oh, we have a timer as well. Okay, let's get started. So let's start off here with Chelsea, which we're gonna go with Rudiger. Antonio Rudiger. Chelsea, Ajax. We're gonna be going with Hakim Ziyech. Italian Chelsea. We're gonna be going with Jorginho. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got the correct one. All number ones, bro. What? Bayern, Real Madrid. We're gonna be going with the legend Xabi Alonso, who's had a great managerial season with Bayern Leverkusen this. Bayern, Ajax. Matthias de Ligt, of course. De Ligt. Bayern, Italian. What in the world? My negative ball knowledge here. Bayern, Italian. We're gonna come back to that. Let's go to Madrid. Real Madrid. We're gonna be going with Courtois. Let's go to Madrid. Ajax. Negative ball knowledge coming. Let's go to Madrid. Italian. What? Let's go to Madrid. Ajax. Bayern. Italian. Why do I feel like it's a more recent player who's at Italian Bayern? Probably an older player, like a Di Natale would it? We'll come back. We'll search that up and see. And let's go to Madrid and Ajax. We're gonna be going with I'm trying to think of like a Dutch. Oh, Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez. Suarez. Let's look at the Madrid Italian. I think this one was recent, no? Italian. And it's Italy is killing me. Italy Bayern. Italian, bro. Like I have that. Never mind. I'm not sure, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Does it tell us? And doesn't even say it. Let's search it up. Italian Bayern Munich. I feel like I know this, bro. Only never mind. Lizarazu. Rizitelli, guys. He has that Riz. Griffo. No, this is. I guess that one. And then let's also take a look at Atletico de Madrid. Italian players. Vieri, bro. Vieri. I was thinking the older one. Diogo Mota, bro. PSG. Didn't he play at PSG as well? I don't know. No ways. Wait, did he play? No, it says Barcelona though. Oh my. Did he play at Atletico de Madrid? I know he played at PSG. Milan, of course. Rather, one season at Atletico de Negative ball knowledge. But yeah, that's gonna come to today's episode, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. Next episode will be on. Let's see. Like, is there games we need to talk about? Oh yeah, Man City United. It will be tomorrow. Nice and Lyon is also a good game. And we're also gonna be having. I think it's next Wednesday, innit? Fiorentina West Ham Conference League final should be pretty good there. So I think next Wednesday we're gonna have another episode, and we're also we're gonna be talking about maybe 1, 2, 3 games gonna be happening within next week. Football news, of course, and the main topic of the video: Champions League predictions for next Saturday's game. So it should be pretty good. So yeah, I think next Wednesday should be a good date then. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. For now, have a good time, guys. Have a blessed time, guys. As I said, like, man, use your time wisely. Make it the most as you can out of it. But yeah, have a positive. Stay happy. Stay positive. Stay flow. And I'll see you later. Have a good one. Peace.